It's 6 o'clock, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. Can I have verification of posting?
June 3rd, 2026 by 5 o'clock.
Great. Mr. McDowell, are you going to pray for us
I'll pray
this evening?
about-
Thank you.
Lord, thank you for this day and for you giving us a great day and a great meeting to work with today. And I pray that you'd bless council tonight, that they would make the right and proper decisions for the city. And I pray that you'd be with the city and guide us and guide the people that make decisions. And I pray that you would watch over everybody as they leave this place tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, now let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, one, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Okay, number 5 on the agenda is approval of minutes from our previous meeting of May 26th, 2026.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 6 is public comment period, and I'd like to welcome our visitors here this evening. We have one person signed up, which is Haley Sanders, our Clifton Main Street manager.
Good evening, council. I just want to take a little bit of time to tell you some upcoming events that we have. I felt this was the perfect time to inform everyone and just remind of some things that we have going on. Small Town Big Tunes is this Friday, June 12th, and Sol Ross will be on stage. And then next Friday, June 19th, and Jet and Reese, the duo, will be on stage, 7:30 to 9:30 at the On Fifth Yard. It's free. Bring your lawn chairs, your coolers, your picnic blankets, snacks, and come out and enjoy. We also have a couple of businesses downtown that will be open after 5. Olaf's, Produce House Pizza, and Mr. Ed's will all be open for food if you don't want to bring your own. Fireworks on the Bosque is June 27th at the City Park. We will be celebrating the 250th anniversary of America, so we are kind of going big this year, and we have Rick Trevino and Zach Webb on stage. So Zach will come on at 6 p.m. and Rick will come on at 8, and then fireworks will be shot at 9:45-ish. So we should have a wonderful evening. We have 16 food trucks signed up, so it should be great with lots of food and snack options. We also have Mingle on Main coming up on August 15th. This is a downtown shopping event that we host quarterly to help raise money for our Main Street program to beautify our downtown with like planters, plantings, all of that stuff to kind of help with the offset costs for there. It will be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if you know of anyone that wants to come shop, our vendors and merchants do a great job of that event. That's really all that I have. Just wanted to inform council on some upcoming events.
Thank you. Okay, next is our consent agenda items. In your packet with everyone's reports, is there any report you would like to pull and discuss? Okay, everybody's good. I would like to thank the police department for, well, they do a lot of things, but one of the things last week was to help someone that was succumbed by a scam, and they jumped into action and they apprehended the thief and who was taking advantage of one of our elderly citizens. I also would like to thank Public Works. The airport board met the other night and was talking about how nice the airport looks. So if you'll let the guys know, they're doing a great job. Now we're going to go on down to the monthly financial report. Cassie's going to get.
Talk about the projects that we got
Oh, yeah. Cassie, before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and let David catch y'all up on some of the projects that we have going
We
on.
got a couple projects right now, of course, we're fixing to talk about another project. Of course, rain has not helped us out at all this year. I mean, we're kind of in the El Nino pattern right now. Swimming pool, there was very little action today. They did deliver the slide. We're waiting on the diving board. We're roughly about a month to 6 weeks out on the swimming pool. I hate to say that, but we can't get concrete trucks in there to pour any concrete just because we get a quarter inch of rain, it gets real saturated right now. So I do have some good news. If it doesn't rain between now and hopefully Saturday, we're hoping to get the 7th Street project finished. So he did say he has acquired the laydown machine. So hopefully we'll start seeing some tar and some asphalt by Thursday, Friday. So that's been a long project coming, so we're ready to get that out of the way, so.
Okay, thank you. Next, Cassie, if you can get up. I've asked Cassie to give y'all, we've just sort of done departments, and so sitting in your packet is expenditures and where we are year to date on those departments, and then revenues. Now, keep in mind that we're still working on ledger entries that had not been done, reconciliations, things that we're gonna discuss in a little bit. But she's been working diligently, so I just wanted y'all to see this. You will see a full budget on the 23rd when we start working on the budget. But Cassie, go ahead.
Well, she's basically said everything. So this is what to be expected monthly from now on. It's just a breakdown of total cost and revenue. And then quarterly, I'll do a line by line itemized list of every department. So that's to be expected. Again, like she said, some of our numbers are still skewed, especially on our revenue. As far as like interest and stuff like that, we're still working on reconciling bank statements. That's kind of been a thorn. There's a lot of general ledgers that haven't been entered, therefore we have to go back and see what's going on in order to correct those and reconcile those bank statements. So the interest and a couple other line items are a little bit off, but you should see a drastic change by next council meeting on those. Yesterday we had a 4-hour meeting between myself, the mayor, Kat, and David, and we went over every single line in our budget, discussed how we can simplify it, also discuss what's needs and wants for every department to help really get a good look and see whatever every department truly is costing us, because there are some things that's kind of mixed or intermingled. But other than that, that's all I got. Got any questions for me?
Do y'all like this? I mean, do you like
Yeah.
seeing it like this and then quarterly getting the 37-page budget?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Cassie. All right, next on the agenda is discussion and possible action in regards to discussing paving options on North Avenue Q from County Road 3220 to Maple Street. Miles Whitney.
I'm gonna let Miles talk. Council, we had budgeted $200,000 for this project, and of course, as you know, oil has skyrocketed, so the bad thing is that asphalt is a oil-based product. So we do have some prices here. Some are a little expensive, but what I did is I gave you several options to take a look at. So I brought Miles in tonight, so he's going to discuss those and discuss his recommendations. Reason we chose Avenue Q, it's a highly traveled road, and I know we have a lot of bad roads, but this road it's up there with all our bad roads, but it's very highly traveled with the school and everybody that goes down Avenue Q. So we're proposing 3220 to Maple Street, so I'll let Miles talk now.
Mayor and council, if y'all have, I did bring with me a little packet tonight, just kind of a brief snapshot of the different options we're proposing for y'all to consider over there. Originally, when David and I first talked about this project, a while back, we talked about just doing an overlay, which is, I think, is kind of the budget numbers that were provided priorly through Waco Paving and some discussions with them. Through those discussions, I wanted to bring back or bring up the certain concerns that maybe come about 6 months to a year down the road on that project. So if you do just a straight overlay on the project, you're taking the existing roadway, you'll probably blade in some asphalt to fill in some low depressions and such, but essentially you're just going right back on top of it, and you're not addressing any of the potential subgrade concerns. So that is an aspect of it that is unknown to me right now, and I believe to a lot of people, as to what's actually underneath that roadway. Was it an old gravel road that they just paved on top of, or what kind of work was performed when it was originally paved? And I bring up, was it a gravel road before? Because a lot of y'all city streets, that's what they were. They were old gravel roads, and they just, whenever funding became available, long before I was around and long before many of y'all may have been around, they paved over the top of it. So one of the risks on an overlay is you're not addressing the subgrade. So whatever cracking or whatever depressions you see out there, they're going to make their way back into it. So for 6 months, you're probably going to have a great surface. Everybody's going to be happy. But then a year comes around and they're going, well, we spent all this money over there, and it's nice and black and it's pretty and black. But those potholes, or the alligatoring is what I call it on the subgrade, start showing back up. So then we moved into an option 2 discussion. Do we want to do maybe some spot subgrade work, especially right there in front of the school itself coming off the county road? Those edges over there, you'll see there's a bunch of cold mix or hot mix that have been placed over the years, and they've built up. Well, do we want to go in there and cut out those areas that we know we have subgrade issues with, and come back in there with known materials, whether it be crushed limestone base with a little bit of slurry on top of it, and then pave it? The risks on that, it's a better option than the straight overlay. It'll provide a little bit longer roadway, but the risk is going to be, now you don't really have a uniform road. You have maybe some great shoulders, but the main lanes in the middle may not be as great, and so you have that differing pressures as traffic goes on there. It's going to pump more maybe in the middle. Now it starts failing on the edges of where we're doing the spot reclaims. Now, I said a lot of people do spot reclaims. We do them a lot of different places, so it is a valid option. You just want to make sure everybody knows the risks that are there if y'all go forward with it. And then lastly, the third option was a total reclamation project. That being, they go in there and grind up the entire roadway, and then they bring in a cement slurry to mix with the ground up asphalt and whatever else is underneath there, and use those grindings as the aggregate. So it's just going to be a straight slurry cement they bring out there, and then they mix it in with the asphalt that was ground up, and then whatever else subgrade was there. Anything we do on options 2 or 3, I would suggest let's go get a geotechnical investigation performed on that roadway to know what's underneath it. Are we talking 2 inches asphalt and 1 inch of gravel? Because if it's only 1 inch of gravel, we know we're probably going to have to add some more aggregate, some more gravel to it, so that they can be used with that slurry combination. So going on to the next pages, I tried to, now I'm not going to lie to you, that little sheet right here with the 3 options with the illustration, that's ChatGPT. I told to put it in there. I said, hey, make me something look pretty, and this is what it came up with. I had to make some modifications, but I wanted to give an illustration of kind of, I have standard details, but it goes into more detail than this. But straight overlay, again, you just covering or paving over the top of it. The second option is a spot. If you look over there on the right-hand corner, you'll see a differing section. That is, doing some repairs of the subgrade in locations that we determine may need it most. And then option 3 is you have a uniform subgrade underneath it before you put that paving on there. Price differences on there, I believe David probably had some sheets in there as well. Also following that are the sections, plan views, that we put some pricing on there that were David and I's going back and forth in discussions, but overlay is your cheapest option. By far, the spot reclamation, giving, I didn't really quantify how much we would have to replace. I think in the estimate I provide you, I did a worst case scenario where I did a full 4-foot section on both sides of the road between the county road and Olson. And then lastly, the most expensive option, which would be the better longevity for the city, is the full reclaim portion. I know I throw a lot of information at y'all right now, so are there any questions that anybody may have at this point?
Miles, on this first, in our packets, the overlay is from Olson, 3220 all the way to Maple is a little over 400,000. Is that right? And it's real light. It's 327 plus 92. Is that right?
That's gonna probably be the reclaim. The full overlay was a 285 number. And I'm not sure what numbers y'all may be looking at in your packet.
Where's the one that?
Should be the very first.
That's what I'm,
Oh, did it cut off?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. There I see.
We didn't get the full thing.
So the overlay option from the county road to Maple, if y'all just did straight overlay, that was about $285,131 is what the cost estimate would be. And then if you looked at the half, the spot reclaimed there on the portion between Olson and the county road, let me see there. Lines and orders.
Very light. $327.
But then it says plus 92, doesn't
Well,
it?
that's your contingency
Oh.
on there and stuff.
So the soft costs on there that we were talking about, that's engineering inspections, material testings, any legal work that may be, and then your contingency is all in that soft cost. So that's what that is. So if we did the half the reclaim of just doing the portion in front of the school between County Road to Olson, and then just do an overlay from Olson to Maple, that's the 327 plus 92, so that's a 418,000.
Worst case scenario.
Well,
If y'all want to know what a total reclaim is, Posey was a total reclaim. We totally redid Posey. And if we did some overlays, which was Avenue M and U, I believe those were overlays, correct, Miles, that we did on?
Yeah, those were a little
with
bit
the
of,
edge mills.
there was a little edge mills on some of those and with some spot reclaims on those.
So when he's taught me, it'll still be a nice road, but what he's saying is that you might not get 20 years out of that road. You might get 5 to 10 years out of that road.
So probably in year 1 or 2, you're gonna notice cracking right there where the edge of the reclaim section was be. There'll be a longitudinal crack that goes with the road, won't be necessarily across it. But that's just because we're all altering that soil, and between the wet and dry cycles, that swell's gonna swell and contract. Well, what we didn't reclaim is gonna swell and retract differently than what we did, reclaim.
What would the cost be between 3220 and the edge of Olson if we just did a total like a reclaim up there?
Between 3220 and Olson
3220.
itself.
Yeah,
And didn't do anything from Olson to Maple?
correct. And then corrected everything in front of the high school.
If we just did 3220 to Olson, 265,000 plus 75,000 was that number. And that's on that third page.
Which is,
315?
I didn't really, you lost me. You said numbers.
265 plus 75, so
315?
You're the engineer. We don't know. You
well, I
do
use a
know.
calculator. I don't spot numbers
I think it's
off anymore.
315.
I got a lot of
I think.
sticker shock on these also, but it's a lot having to do with your oil prices right now too.
And
So
that's 50. So,
So, I don't know anything about streets,
340.
but am I right that especially between Olson and Maple, I do drive on Q a lot. So when it rains, that water just rushes over Q. Are all of these gonna be able
So-
to withstand that?
These numbers are, okay, sorry. These numbers don't include any drainage work. This is straight
Right.
street work.
But I'm just saying,
So
if we
the-
spend, no matter what we spend money on, when that water is doing what it does there, I mean, if it rains, it's like, it takes up at least half of Q, and you have to drive on the other side.
Yeah.
So so I'm just saying, is it even worth, is that water gonna
Tear the road
destroy
up.
that road quickly still, even if we,
So I don't know what kind of velocities it goes across that road. I mean, we have several of them in other municipalities that, I know what you're talking about, it pills it up as it goes across there.
it comes off a hill, you know, you can picture that, it comes off that hill, and then there's that, the school did a good job with making it funnels the water. It's kind of like not really a retention pond, but it flows, I guess it flows under in that one, it's like a little
There's an old culvert there.
culvert that it goes through, but it really just goes over the road and then goes down. But it's a lot of water.
So the thought is, if we spend that kind of money, is that going to then tear up what we just?
Should we
And
look into?
I get what you're saying, and it's gonna be hard for me to answer that.
I know.
In that I don't know how much water that actually is coming down there. I will say, the speed of the water is gonna be what's going to eat up the most quickly on there. But I drove it right before I came. I didn't really notice that it had pilled up in the past. There's a lot of patching from Olson back towards the county road, to the north. But from Olson to Maple, it looks, there's been some work over
Yeah.
there, but it doesn't appear y'all have had it peeled back to you before. Now, can I say, would it happen? Obviously, it could happen. It happens elsewhere, so why wouldn't it happen here? Now, one thing that you could do, if that is a concern of y'all's, but we don't really want to touch drainage work on there, we could potentially do a 1 foot wide ribbon curb over there on that uphill side of the road, so the northern side of the road. It being a concrete ribbon curb that, puts a defining point where the asphalt ends and ribbon curb, and then you go to grass. And so if you have that water velocity coming over there scouring, you're letting the concrete kind of take the initial hit before it obviously hits the edge of an asphalt. And what I'm speaking of is, if you do a straight overlay, you're going to pave on top of the existing roadway. So whatever thickness, which we put in here, 2-inch thick concrete, you're going to have 2 inches right there that water can now hit. But if you do a ribbon curb over there, it's not going to hit your asphalt and have a way to undermine it underneath. You're forcing it now to go on top, so you're gonna have a little intrusion right there, but nothing that would tear up an edge of a roadway. And it's gonna be your uphill side that you would only really be concerned about. You could do it on both sides just to make it look nice and uniform between the two, but the uphill side is gonna be the one that you would be most concerned about for what you're describing.
I don't know. I don't know if it's enough to, I just know there's a lot of water.
But you know, a ribbon curb is fairly inexpensive,
Okay.
if that's something that y'all want to consider with that.
We'd be taking this out of street sales tax. Russ, we got about 580,000 in street sales tax currently. We're committed at about 180 right now for the 7th Street project, so it leaves us around 400,000. So I need to stay within that $400,000 range. So if that kind of helps you out. The other option is just to do 2 Olson. The other option is not do anything. But I do know that something, we take lots of complaints on that road. So I just brought these to y'all to see what y'all wanted to address, and if we wanted to address anything. If not, then we can move on to another road. But we do have the money in the street sales tax currently.
So with the geotechnical borings, would that give us a better idea of how long option 2 might last?
You'd have a better idea, yes, sir. Because, you know, if they determine, you know, that length of roadway, you'd probably be looking at 3 borings, one closer to the county road, probably one near the intersection of Olson, and then one maybe towards Maple, but not quite at the very end. We would stagger it back. So we would have a decent profile of what to expect underneath there. If those borings come back, and let's say that it's determined that there's the 2 inches of asphalt and 2 inches of gravel, they're probably gonna come back with their recommendations, say, hey, y'all need to add more material. So then that may be a point where we're going, guys, we can do this, but what we're not spot reclaiming, so the section potentially in the middle, is going to be a known issue that, 5-10 more years down the road that y'all would have to address. There's just, there's positives and negatives both, but y'all have a budget you have to work with, and I completely understand that aspect of it.
Y'all told me yesterday that there's no, it seems a lot of our potholes are due to us having to dig up the road to fix what's underneath. There's nothing, there's no
There's no
pipes,
utilities.
there's no
Oh, yeah,
utilities.
there's no utilities underneath Avenue Q.
So all the potholes.
There's one gate valve I know that's in the intersection of Olson and 7th that we did shoot in. Now, the old plans, it doesn't show whether they continued it towards the county road in the roadway itself, but that physical gate valve is, I'm gonna say, in the eastern drive lane of that roadway. So there is a little bit of water over there, but I don't know exactly where it goes underneath. But y'all haven't dug it up here recently,
Yeah.
so there's no new patches
I
over
think-
there that would help determine that.
Right. I think Craig said we don't really have anything running parallel underneath there, do we? That you
I
know.
know there's a fire hydrant down at the north end of the high school.
But there's nothing running in the road. It runs.
Can y'all please say like the McDonald's sign?
High school side or the stadium side?
I'm just joking.
Okay, so what would a geo cost?
So that last one y'all had performed on Avenue C, I think was around $7,500. And that was 3 borings for that project.
And that's what we're looking for
It'd be about 3 borings for this project as
the
well.
whole project?
Yes.
For both?
For both, the Olson to the county road and Olson to Maple.
Okay.
So we had already budgeted 200,000 for this project, and then we have roughly 400 additional out of the tax, road tax.
We have about 580 right now in street sales tax.
It's 7th Street.
But some is allocated for something else.
Yeah, that was allocated for 7th Street, that extra additional the drive on Avenue O. It was just going to be incomplete, so we decided to go all the way to 219. So that was already been allocated, the 180,000.
You budgeted for it to come out of that 500,000.
Well, the 200,000 was budgeted out of the 580,000, but we are
Right.
still at 180,000.
So that would leave us 400.
So it leaves us 400,000.
So we can only afford the overlay.
No, well, but
Because one of them comes to 418, the other one comes to 568, and just the edge mill and overlay is at 285.
Or we just do that one block full reclaim and go ahead and do geotech
just
to,
do the geotech, find out where we're at.
Now, let me preface these cost estimates that I provide y'all. Whenever I do them, I'm not trying to get the job. You know, I'm trying to be the second or third place bidder, not the low bidder. So that's my intent when I put these out, because I know that y'all are trying to budget. And then when it comes down to it, you open bids, you're going, that's not what you said, you know, so. Anyway, so take that with a grain of salt.
I think we just need to start with the geotech report and get it back and see what we've got to work with, and then figure out what money we got and what we can afford.
to drop that into a motion.
I'll make a motion that we do a geotech report from 3220 to Maple Street and see what our options are.
Second that.
A motion, a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Well, I'll get a proposal from the Geotech Labs and get it over to David.
What's the timeline on something like that, Miles?
So, once we get the proposal, I think on that last one, it was 4 weeks out from when we had the proposal signed, before they had a rig lined up to come do those drillings.
Okay.
And then you're probably looking at another 2 to 3 weeks of their testing in the lab of those soils that get pulled out of there.
So August or September? Okay. All right, I appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir. Okay, D on the agenda is discussion and possible action on approving up to $20,000 for contract services with Robert Half for accounting reconciliation for the city's budget. So what we've done is Dorothy came and she did as much as she could do. But in their interim, she was training staff and doing other things. But she got to a point where things, manual ledger entries, reconciliations, the books, the checkbook, the checking accounts haven't been reconciled since October. There's things that just, with the staff doing their day-to-day, they don't have the time to do it and keep up and do what they need to do. So Robert Half this was somebody that was recommended by our auditor to come in, because what we're faced with right now, and David and Cassie, you correct me, but what we're faced with right now is, let me look at my notes. The statements weren't reconciled, and there's manual entries that were done that we don't understand why. Or were not done. There were manual entries that have not been done. There is things that, and we've had the discussion, the CPA did that we didn't understand why, and nobody understands. This accountant doesn't. The auditor doesn't. So he's having to actually go in and spend a lot of time just with a fine-tooth comb going through things. We're getting there, but until we get the final numbers through September with the audit, it's hard for Taylor to go in and reconcile bank statements. The October bank statement was reconciled with an overage of $4,400. So it was not reconciled down. So we're just, am I saying this all fairly correctly?
Yeah, we just need them to come in and basically just kind of help us out on to go ahead and just reconcile everything, get us going, and then we're starting from square one and we can move forward.
Yeah, it's just like trying to, like she said, continue our day-to-day, make the corrections that have a lot. I mean, that's really going through line by line, fixing what was done of this year. And then having to backtrack and figure out what was done that none of our hands were in, to try to understand what they did, why they did it, or why they did not do it. I know our main account, which is our cash management account, kind of everything goes in and out of. There's a lot of stuff that just wasn't entered. I mean, again, something simple as maybe the interest we grew, or something that was paid out by ACH, you know, insurance, for example. It just wasn't documented in Edmunds. So, I mean, obviously the bank statement shows that we paid it, but Edmunds isn't showing that we did. So it's just getting those, every line to match. And there's some of it, we don't know where it's at or what it was. So going back and figuring that out and keeping up with the day-to-day, it's just, it truly is a lot. I don't like saying that, but it is. So the guy, Jason, that's been here, he's been a lot of help. He is really good at like finding those small things that we're unable to find. You know, it's picking a needle in a haystack for us, but he's gone through all of our files and he's done a good job at finding things that the auditor's needing. So I do feel like he's been a lot of help.
If y'all have any other questions or ideas? We did reach out to ask the CPA some questions and his thought processes, previous CPA and his thought processes, and had him talk their lingo with this accountant, and that didn't even, and the understanding wasn't even there. And yesterday when Jason called to talk to me, he said, well, I talked to the previous, and he says, yeah, you won't be able to find any of that. There was too much done and too much moving around, and so. And this is what we came in, or some of us have come into, and that is why it's real important for all of us as the council to be that last look on that budget. Another example is, Dorothy told us the other day that we had double paid IRS. Well, they've sent us now a bill for more for non-payment for the same thing. So our accounting firm, when I had told him this months ago that it happened, he said, if something happens, stop. So we stopped. David got all the paperwork together, and we have sent it to BMY, and they have one person that has a direct line to the IRS. And they're going to get that fixed, because that's an almost $100,000. We're playing, letters back and forth. They write us a check and then they want it back, and it shows that we ACH'd and sent a check in March and September of 2023. So that's where the IRS is right now.
Well, we did receive checks from the IRS.
Yes.
So, we got almost what the amount says they owe, so they sent us the check. So there's just a lot of stuff that needs to be cleaned up with the IRS, because they don't know what we're doing, we don't know what they're doing. So it just needs to be cleaned up with the IRS. So we think this would be a good recommendation to help us start cleaning this stuff up.
Just get it cleaned up. And the day-to-day now is going great. But we've got to go back so we can get this year reconciled, and we can't do that till September 25 is reconciled. So that's where we're at.
Okay. So, you need a motion.
I would entertain a motion.
And also, we need all of this, I mean, maybe this is clear to everyone else, but for our audit, like, we can't,
Yes.
that's the deal. Like, they don't understand how to clear all this up.
Right, we need it all clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're making it clean. They're going all the way back to, almost 22 to get all this stuff
Yeah.
together and get it to the auditors, so.
And the auditor has told me, once this pain and agony is over, next year's will be a breeze. So, and Cassie and Taylor have sat with Dorothy, and, they're in constant communication with Jason. So they'll know how to do this audit, and he says it won't be a big deal at all. Nothing like this. And even, we talked yesterday, Cassie will be able to do W-2s. Our W-2s will be done, they'll be done timely. We won't have to hire anybody to do them, so.
Okay, I move that we approve up to $20,000 for contract services with Robert Half for accounting reconciliation for the city's budget.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, thank y'all. E is discussion and possible action in regards to the fire department's request for $1,200 from Hotel Motel for advertising for their annual fish fry on July 18th, 2026. Is there anybody here from the fire department to ask for that?
I mean, I guess I can.
It's sort of a prerequisite.
I'm a fire hat, but, yeah, I'm just asking for some, I believe we're gonna use it, I think for radio advertising. Advertising is what the fire department wants to use it for. I think on a Dallas, country station, I think maybe one out of Waco. That's what that money is being requested for.
Okay, do y'all have any questions? If there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we give the request of $1,200 from Hotel Motel for advertising to the fire department.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Alright. Next is the second reading of resolution, it's F, second reading of resolution number 260526-0 for the Clifton Youth Baseball Softball Association grant for $54,000. Do you want to read that?
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Clifton, Texas, approving the Clifton Economic Development Corporation grant of $54,000 to the Clifton Youth Baseball Softball Association. Whereas the Clifton Economic Development Corp., the Clifton EDC Board of Directors has determined that a grant in the amount of $54,000 to Clifton Youth Baseball Softball Association for a new concession stand and restrooms would be consistent with the purpose of the Clifton EDC and would be beneficial to the city of Clifton. And whereas the Clifton EDC has advertised its intent to grant funds as Clifton Youth Baseball Softball Association is required by law, and whereas the Clifton EDC Board has conducted a public hearing on its intent to provide a $54,000 grant to Clifton Youth Baseball Softball Association, received no opposition to the grant. Now therefore, as provided by law, the City Council of the City of Clifton acts to authorize the following. Section 1, approval of the grant in the amount of $54,000 to Clifton Youth Baseball Softball Association.
Okay, we have finished the second reading for the Clifton Softball Association grant for $54,000. Next is our second reading for resolution number 260526-1 for Harris Brothers Fabrication Grant for $63,393.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Clifton, Texas, approving the Clifton Economic Development Corp. Grant of $63,393 to Harris Brothers Fabrication. Whereas the Clifton Economic Development Corporation, the Clifton EDC Board of Directors has determined that a grant in the amount of $63,246.14 to Harris Brothers Fabrication for building improvements would be consistent with the purposes of the Clifton EDC and would be beneficial to the City of Clifton. And whereas the Clifton EDC has advertised its intent to grant the funds to Harris Brothers Fabrication as required by law, and whereas the Clifton EDC Board has conducted a public hearing on its intent to provide a $63,393 grant to Harris Brothers Fabrication and received no opposition to the grant. Now therefore, as provided by law, the City Council of the City of Clifton acts to authorize the following. Section 1, approval of a grant in the amount of $63,393 to Harris Brothers Fabrication.
That will be the conclusion of the second reading for resolution number 260526. H on the agenda is discussion and possible action approving resolution number 260609-0 to approve Cassie Williams to be able to open and close bank accounts on behalf of the city.
We don't have to read this. We
No.
don't have to, so we...
Do you want to explain how,
Yeah, what we're doing is we're just putting Cassie, since she is the finance manager, to have the same access to bank accounts and text pool and all that we do, because she can't get into certain accounts right now or create any bank accounts. So
she can't even have a sign-in?
Yeah, so right now, we're just asking her to have authority to be able to do that, since she is the finance person in charge.
Do y'all have any questions?
I move we approve resolution number 260609-0 to approve Cassie Williams to be able to open and close bank accounts on behalf of the city.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next is I on the agenda, discussion and possible action on ordinance number 260609-1, ordering an election to reauthorize the adoption of local sales tax and use tax at the rate of 1/4% for maintenance and repair of municipal streets pursuant to Chapter 327 of the Texas Tax Code. This is an ordinance that every 10 years,
We have to get the council to do an ordinance basically give us permission to hold an election, so, for the street sales tax.
and that has to be done every 2 years, 10 years.
This is currently how it is.
Yes, generally how it is. Quarter go, or the third of a third of a third, whatever goes to that, and the same goes to EDC. I didn't say that the way,
I know what you meant.
equal portions.
Do y'all have any other questions?
I move to approve ordinance number 260609-1, ordering an election to authorize or reauthorize the adoption of a local sales and use tax at the rate of 1/4% for maintenance and repairs of municipal streets pursuant to Chapter 327 Texas Tax Code.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next is J, and it is discussion and possible action in regards to approving the City of Clifton's request for $2,500 from Hotel Motel funds for advertising their Independence Day fireworks celebration and concert on June 27th, 2026.
Haley, I will let you have the floor.
I did want to show you guys the poster. They are around town and other places. So we have this. Rick Trevino will be coming, as I said before, as our headliner, and then Zach Webb as our opener. I have given you guys the recommendation sheet. It looks like this for the radio ads. So it is 17 total ads. That is what we will be requesting the money for, is to advertise this on Hank FM, which is 92.1. And so we will have 17 total 30-second ads starting the week of the event. We're requesting $2,500 specifically for those radio ads.
Do y'all have any questions for him?
Any additional questions for me? I will say that we have booked 5 total hotel rooms at the Beltman Inn, and he is anticipating more rooms to be booked for that weekend. So
We've had a good response for this.
Yes,
We
yeah,
we
we've had a
expect
lot
to be a
of
good crowd.
thank you.
Thank you, Haley. If there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the City of Clifton's request for $2,500 from Hotel Motel Funds for advertising the Independence Day fireworks celebration and concert.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next is K, discussion and possible action in regards to the Clifton Youth Baseball Association's request for $55,000 from Hotel Motel for the concession stand construction project to support and enhance future tournaments.
Which hat are you in?
Sorry, got the baseball hat on now. Long time no see. So this is part of our concession stand project. We initially asked for a little over $100,000. The EDC was mean and would only give us half of it. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, they were very gracious and gave us half of the project, which they would have given more. We just got there a little late. So, but in talking with Weston and EDC and some of the other folks, this does fall under the EDC's, the Hotel Motels list of things that money can be used for. As most of you know, we have a lot of baseball, softball tournaments. We just had a 40-team tournament this past weekend, and a lot of those folks stay at the hotel. Usually the hotel's booked, the restaurants are full, so it's a really good thing for Clifton. So this particular money we'll need for the electrical to the building. They've got to put in some kind of I can't think of the word, but like a transformer is the word I'm looking for. That's the biggest part of the cost. This will also pay for some new like fryers, some warmers, just some things that we've needed to upgrade for a while, along with the electrical. So I don't necessarily have an answer tonight because I don't have any numbers, plans to give you, because I'm just now I got one quote from Kettler Kilowatt. We're getting another one from another electrical person, so we kind of have something to compare. But the numbers so far are coming in right around that number that we're asking for. So again, really not asking for a yay or nay tonight, just kind of putting it on your radar. I know hotel motel money has been a hot topic, so probably by next month's meeting, I'll be ready to get you guys some actual numbers and officially ask for it. The EDC money we're getting, we've got to spend that first so that their budget, then this budget year, so their numbers work out. So this money we actually won't even be able to spend or be ready to spend until probably later this year once we get the building put up and the pad built. That's what the EDC money portion of this will pay for. So I would entertain any questions if anybody has any about this project and why we're asking for it.
Any questions?
I've gotten to hear a lot about it already, so.
But you have.
From
Yeah.
EDC.
And for those that don't know, the reason I'm asking this, I'm also the president of the Baseball Association. So for those in the Facebook world wondering why the police chief's asking for money for that would be why.
Thank you, baseball man. Okay. So, if we can just, have a motion.
Motion to table.
Table
it
this.
Until we get those numbers.
Thank you. Have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. K is discussion and possible action, no.
No.
L is discussion and possible action in regards to approving a new hotel motel request form to be filled out at the beginning of each year and a maximum request of $10,000 per each fiscal year per entity, is the thought.
Council, what y'all asked us last time to do is come up with basically a application that takes care of three different questions. You've got new events, you've got what Chris is asking for, or more permanent like a concession stand or improvements to the city, and the third is to the already established events that are already going on. So this has three appendages. Haley put this together because mine was way too long, and she did a good job putting A, B, and C together, what it asks for. It also, the original one, we had it January 1st. This one says August 31st, so we can budget for the year so we know what we're looking at. And we just kind of cleaned it up and brought y'all, the other one was just for one appendage, this was for all three. So if y'all like it, we can take a look. Is there anything you might want us to change? We can change it. This cleans it up and gives everybody the opportunity, like Paige had talked about last time. Years ago, people used to request on a yearly basis on what they would use. So this gives us the opportunity for budgeting purposes also.
And I was gonna just point out, back in the budget, we're down a little bit this year so far. We're at about 40%, 44%. We should be about 70
For hotel motel?
for hotel motel. So we might be up to 52, but that's one of the reasons it's really good to budget this for the year, in case we have several lower years.
I don't have the exact amount. I didn't look at it today. I apologize. I can have it next time. What is it actually in hotel motel? It's roughly around 130,000. So we do have money in there for some of the larger projects, but I can get you those more accurate numbers next time.
I like this application.
Good job, Haley.
Yeah.
What do y'all think? Is there things you would like to change, add, keep?
We mentioned last time that there may be instances in which more may be approved, based on
Say if
what.
somebody already asked for 10 and they needed another 1,000 or
Right.
something like that. But that would be strictly up to y'all's approval. I mean, this is just given, we don't want people to get in the habit of just asking for more, but this is strictly if it was a great, presentation and it was needed, and y'all would vote to make that approval.
I mean, they would have to have some compelling
Correct.
points.
Heads and beds
Yep.
is what needs to happen
Yeah,
for
this is
hotel
just,
motel.
Rustin brought up a good point last time, if you put 15,000, they're gonna ask for 15,000. If they ask for 10, it's just kind of giving you a parameter out there.
Do you have anything else? I move that we approve the hotel motel request forms to be filled out at the beginning of each year and a maximum request of $10,000 per each fiscal year.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. M is discussion and possible action regarding the input and approval of the new employee handbook pending the city attorney's input.
Council, I passed y'all out a handbook a couple meetings ago. Councilman I think I sent you one last week, so you've got to take a look at it. And I know that Councilman Qualls had some questions about FMLA and maternity leave in there. So what I did is I put in y'all's book the current maternity leave. And if y'all want to take a look at that and just how that's listed, we can, this one that we have right now pays them up to 6 weeks after their sick and vacation time. The new one, it pays them up to 6 weeks even if after their sick and vacation expires. Our other one, basically, you're dependent on your total vacation and sick, and after that you're still on FMLA, but you're not getting paid for it. And so I put that in there to take a look at currently what we have and put our current FML in there. I think there wasn't a whole lot of questions on any of the other stuff, but I wanted to give y'all a few months to take a look at it and just see if y'all had any changes. Now, whatever y'all decide, I'll still give this to Charlie, our attorney, and let him go through it. But this will allow the employees to sign it. This has forms in it that we didn't have before, and everything's up to date.
So, as David stated, this is current policy opposed to what we can do. And just like with the hotel motel, we can make it whatever we want. It's just between using your sick time and vacation up to a full 6 weeks, somewhere in there. We need to make a decision for the pregnancy leave.
The one that we had in there for the handbook for the new handbook was based off the state of Texas. That was, because we base a lot of our stuff off the state of Texas, but that was their maternity leave, and that's what the state is. So if we want to do something different, then we can do something totally different. We can leave it the same, and I can just put that in there. We can put our current maternity leave in there.
I'm open to y'all's thoughts.
What would different, I mean, this is not my, it's not my wheelhouse, so.
I mean, personally, I like leaving it under FMLA and not providing additional, whatever you've accumulated for PTO or vacation time, utilizing that. I think it's just cleaner, but I'm certainly open to hearing everybody else's thoughts about paying 6 weeks for somebody to be off.
In this policy, we do have in there where employees can donate time also, because there's a lot of employees that are maxed out, that continue to max out. And if someone's for a long-term stay, we do have it to where we can donate time. So, that's something we can consider also. And that's in the new one also.
I think we talked about it before, we have the sick pool also, don't we?
That's what,
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, the
Okay,
sick
so that's where you
pool, yeah.
donate to the sick pool?
Correct. You'll donate that, like if you needed the extra 40 hours, I got the time, I'll donate it over to you. Now, it's gotta be approved, but, and you have to be here over a year to be able to get that.
You're saying the state provides 6 weeks of paid leave?
Additional pay.
Additional.
That's what's in the new one we put in there. And the only reason we put that in there different, I was asked to take a look at that in the maternity and the FMLA, so that's why I just kind of gave you all a different option to take a look at.
What are your thoughts?
I don't have any thoughts, really. I mean, it's just, I think this is a good policy. I prefer to be able to use what you earn. You know, if you've got your sick time, because you don't want people abusing, other people's sick time because you didn't keep yours. So, I mean, personally, I kind of like the old a little bit better than the new, but that's my opinion. As Councilman Qualls had stated, I think, whatever they have on the books, that's what they use. Now, they keep their job. FMLA says you can keep your job up to 12 weeks. And
just not getting paid.
You just don't get paid once your time runs out. We hold your job.
And we've had to do that for an employee, not a maternity, but,
Yeah.
so. And we've used the sick pool.
I've used the sick pool several
The
times.
employees were very generous with the sick pool for this employee, so.
And all this will be reviewed by our attorney.
The hospital does 6 weeks.
No, they do the FMLA, the way that our current policy's written. Whatever time you've accumulated, you plan for that, save it, utilize it during that time. If you run out of time, then you still have a job.
Up to 12 weeks.
You just aren't
If you
getting paid.
haven't been there, it's just, oh well.
Well, you have to be here at least a year to be able to get people to donate to you.
To receive the sick
To receive the sick pool. And also, that's also up to the discretion of the city administrator also. I mean, that's how, that states that in there.
I like the idea of providing 6 weeks of paid leave for maternity. Just kind of,
You do?
I do.
You're
I do.
in that stage of life.
Yes.
That's,
I haven't slept in a while.
I did not have to, I feel like I mean, you're not really giving your opinion here. I would like your opinion if you would give it, but as the lone child bearer sitting up here talking, I mean, it's a different opinion than a man would have, I think. So I feel a burden for that. But you're in that stage of life, so you get it. But I also realize that it's a place of business and work, and we're responsible for the pay of people. So I feel a balance. So that's why I'm like polling the people. What's your opinion? Do you have an opinion? Do you not want to give it?
Do I have an opinion? Well, I was under the current policy during my time and with one child, and at the end of that, 3 months later, I decided I would love to stay home with that child. So, those things can happen, and it's absolutely natural for that, more time and things like that. And then you go back for where we're at in our seat, and we are, do we use taxpayers' money for that? And then that employee uses their 6 weeks and then decides, which is,
Their prerogative.
and a great one too, to take more time. But I think that's why some of the policies haven't changed for that reason. In discussing handbook policies with others, that is the reasoning that they have given me why it has not been changed. But other companies, I know companies, some of them are very nice policies. So that's a non-childbearing person anymore. A grandparent bearing one.
No.
So,
And did make adjustments to the vacation time in there also, so currently up to 2 years, you just get 1 week of vacation. I did put in there that we would approve as soon as you basically are hired on, you start accruing 2 weeks, but you do not get to take it until your probation's up after 6 months. So, because most companies and most cities, I would say probably 99% of the cities right now are giving the 2 weeks instead of the 1 week. And other than that, it's just, it's basic time off. After 5 years, you get 3. After 10 years, you get 4. So it's just the incentives to hopefully stay a little bit longer.
I'm mad at myself for not, I didn't think about it until this moment, asking for, or looking into other, like municipality, what they do.
Somebody did their homework.
Yeah, it's-
You did?
I've looked at other policies. and
Yeah.
stuff. It's fairly, it's about the same thing with probably, they're across the board on how they do their FML and their maternity leave. So it's just, so this city might do this city might do this. And your home rule cities might do something totally different than your general.
Larger.
law.
Yeah.
So there's no real consensus?
No ill
I
consensus.
said there's no
Real.
real consensus of the municipalities?
A
or is
large
it-
percentage.
I don't have a percentage, to tell you the truth. I've just talked to, some surrounding cities here and there, and they kind of do what we do with our current.
With our current one?
Yeah. But that's strictly up to y'all how you want to do it. I mean, it gives more incentive, for having babies, I guess.
Spread the love.
Okay, so thinking we're a little split on our thoughts.
And I will say something else that has been brought up to me by Dorothy is that if we pass a policy that does a 6 week paid or 3 week, whatever it is, that it's now called a paternity. So not only is it the mother,
Good point.
but if you have a father that is a city employee, they get 6 weeks paid leave. Or up to 6 weeks paid leave.
It goes both ways.
It's changed. Not like, in our policy right now, it says it's expected to make her own, it's different now.
So no matter what, it'll change, or?
No, I mean,
Just
if
if
we
we do
don't,
6
if we
weeks.
don't change this policy, that would not change. If we go to the new policy, then it would be paternity and it would be for mother or father. That's just the way that those things are given now.
And currently, we're all under FMLA. So if the father decides he wants to take off, he can take off. But he has to, same thing like the mother, he has to utilize his time. So, but the mayor is correct. If we're going to do it for the mother, we have to do it for the father also.
I'm not gonna get myself in trouble. Not talking.
So,
So are we needing to decide this tonight?
We kind of pushed it down the road a few months. We've kind of pushed it down the road
Well, I mean,
about 3 months.
I just like the standard FMLA. I mean, I've done handbooks before too, and it's just, plus it just creates an incentive for them to come back to work.
Cool, there's 2 of you that like one and 2 of you that like the other. I love that. Great.
We've got a split count.
so I'll entertain a motion.
I mean, if y'all want to table it and bring it back, look at it until next month, but I don't know what one more month is really going to do, so. But,
All right, I'll make a motion that we leave it under the FMLA like our existing policy.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign.
Aye.
I didn't vote.
I know.
but if you don't vote, it's a yes.
I know. I'm gonna do it again. yes,
If you
okay,
don't vote, it's a yes.
I know.
You might have to make that motion again.
Yeah, you gotta make it again, sorry.
I'll make the motion that we keep FMLA, or leave our policy under the FMLA as previous.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Ayes pass. I mean, the nays pass. So,
So I need a vote, do you want to put a motion in there too? I guess we need a motion, but it just
it'll be the new
needs
policy.
a new policy.
Okay.
I think so. Do we need?
Motion fails.
Motion fails, so we need a new motion.
Yeah.
We need a new motion for the other.
Okay.
Unless you don't want to table it.
Yes, this is how it's tabled. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you can make a motion to table it.
Just kidding.
Make a motion as written.
Yeah.
I'll move to approve the new policy.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Fine.
Any opposed, same sign.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We have approved the new employee handbook pending the city attorney's.
City attorney. Thank you, council, it was a good discussion.
What I like about it is, I mean, we can do this for this year, and, I mean, what if it's not great? We can do this again. I mean,
You
right?
can always, council has the prerogative to
Yeah.
change the handbook anytime they want to. So we can bring that to y'all, that y'all can change it.
Yeah.
Or add things or take away things.
Yeah.
That y'all see fit.
Well, I know, when having kids, it's a stressful thing, and I wouldn't want anybody worrying about if they're getting paid or not.
Okay. All right. Well,
Paul.
8 on the agenda is to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We'll adjourn at 7:16.